Thinking about picking games up on release day, there's only 4 that I can ever remember doing that for. And the last one, when I get to the last one, will show why I've never done it again. The first one was GTA San Andreas.
Oh, you lucky boy.
Yes, and I was not of age to buy that. But
no, you weren't.
When the person behind the counter said, "Are you 18?" I looked at them and I said, "Yes." And they sold me the game. But I had to get this, because it was obviously all sort of pre-ordered and I was just going down on the day. They were just like, "Okay, right, so we can sell you this, but we can only sell you it in this pack, which also comes with a cheapy own brand PS2 joypad." I was like, "That's fine.
Yeah.
It's £5 more. That's fine." I think it was probably about £35 I paid for it. And I would definitely say that San Andreas was worth the £35.
Yeah.
Even if I did get stuck on the bloody plane missions for... That was...
far too long.
Yeah, that was one of those... You know when you go, right, I cannot do this. I'm going to come back to this game later. And you give it about 2 years. And you come back and you do the mission first time. And you go, well, fuck you, game. Fuck you.
I've had a couple of experiences like that,
yeah. The second game was Pro Evolution Soccer 6, because the Pro Evo games were just, in terms of football sims,
Would you say it was superior to the FIFA?
The PS2 era Pro Evolution Soccers were football
golden
perfection.
age.
Yeah. Just thinking about it makes me want to play it again now. Just, silky smooth football. The third one was Final Fantasy 12, which I always saw as a very underrated Final Fantasy. I can understand why people didn't like some bits, and the ending's not great, and neither is the final boss. But there's so much to do in that game. And I know I haven't done it all, and that's one that I really want to go back to. And I'm pondering...
Do you still have a PS2?
Technically, yes. It's not been used in a long time, so I'd be surprised if it works. But it's one of those I have on my Steam wish list, and if I ever get the inkling, if it's on a Steam sale, it's the Zodiac Age one as well, which has got all the added little extra bits, so
right.
maybe just give it a cheeky purchase.
Yep.
And then the last one, and the one
number 4,
one that made me say, "No, I'm not doing this again."
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 13.
Okay.
I have still never finished that game. It is still sitting on my shelf. I cannot remember how far in I am. At best, it's halfway.
That's the PS3 one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lightning in a bottle, or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Not a good
time?
Not a good time. One day I'll go back and I'll try and finish it.
Yeah.
I've recently actually been thinking about going back and try to finish it, because I've been playing Final Fantasy 6 and 7 simultaneously, and I know I'm near the end of Final Fantasy 7.
That'd be amazing. I'd love to see you have 2 screens open up at once and be playing them both at the same time. I bet somebody's done that.
Yeah. See if they can take the exact same steps in one as they're taking the other to try and move around the world.
I've seen somebody do that with, I think it was Pokemon games. They had one controller, 2 games, and they were playing both Pokemon games at the same time. And I don't think it was like Red and Blue, where they're basically the same.
Yeah.
I think it might be like Yellow and Red, where Yellow has a bit of variation to it, so you have to time your steps in certain ways and time certain battles. Another one they've done is Punch Out and Super Punch Out. They played both of those with one controller at the same time.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's incredible to watch as well, because you do have to get your timing right for both. Because if you dodge on one, you might just be dodging right into his, like Mike Tyson's fist on the other screen. So there you go.
Very interesting.
So 2 Final Fantasy games there, though.
Yeah, because
more of the old Football Manager RPG elements.
Yeah. I've always liked the Final Fantasy series up until 13, and I've not played 15. Chances are I never will. I'll probably never have a PC that's powerful enough for it.
Or console?
I probably won't get another console.
A shock.
PS3 and 360 is where it has ended. Unless if I got given a PS4 or an Xbox One, I would take them, but I shall not buy them. unless they were ridiculously cheap.
I wouldn't shirk a gift.
Yeah, hint, hint.
If anyone would deign to give me a console, I'd take it.
And now a word from this week's sponsors. Sony. Sony have a wide range of brilliant products, not least of all the PS4 Pro.
It's for the gamers. Yeah, I generally don't ascribe to the idea of getting games on release day because you're buying something you know nothing about.
Yeah, it is
like order hype.
A false economy.
Plus, then you wait 2 weeks and it's already £20 cheaper. Yeah. So,
but then you get the problem that if it was a really good game and it had really bad pre-orders and really bad first day sales, it'll probably never get a sequel. So it becomes one of those vicious cycles with, at least with sort of big title games, something like Binding of Isaac, which, just kind of kept growing and growing. That didn't need to be bought day one.
No, but then the difference with that is that's the difference between indie development or a small studio and a massive AAA title. Is the way that money plays a role in its release.
It's having the channels to just be able to have the little drip feed, just slowly drip feed the nourishment into the gamers' lives, rather than having Ubisoft and Activision go, right, what were your day one sales? Only 3 million. Pathetic.
Weakness. There is one other game that I bought on release, and that was when I queued up for the midnight release of the Switch, and I bought Breath of the Wild at the same time, and I do not regret it one single bit.
Fair enough. The Switch is probably the only console that I would want to get, but it is still way too expensive.
It is too expensive, yeah.
It's just silly MacGuffin prices it is.
It really is.
When it's in the 100 odd mark, I may pick one up.
Well, it may not be too much longer. There's rumours abound of slightly like a Revision 2 come out soon, possibly in time for Christmas, which might make a Revision 1 be a bit cheaper. Which would be nice.
We shall
I
see.
do still think it's a stupid portable console. It's just a terrible idea as a portable thing, but as a home console, just get a real controller, plug it into your TV. Jobs are good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good idea as a portable console. It's very good thought behind it, but really, it's for long plane journeys. It's only got about a 4-hour battery life, hasn't it? So it's it's designed for a 3-hour plane journey, is what it's for.
Yeah, just about.
Or maybe a push a train journey where you can have a table.
Yeah.
Speaking of sort of firsts and bests, do you remember sort of what your first tech was? As in, like, I know for me, my first sort of, rather than any games consoles or PCs or anything, my first kind of tech was a Sagem phone. Sagem.
Ooh.
When I was...
Nice.
Yeah, 13.
13?
Yeah,
right.
That was mine.
Was this something you'd pressured your parents to get you?
It was indeed. Yeah. I don't know. Looking back, what the hell did I need a mobile phone for? I rang nobody. I say I rang nobody. I would either ring my friend to say, can I come down? Or I'd be ringing my mum from my friends saying, I'm going back home. I didn't need any more contacts than those two.
Oh. I do remember my first phone. I remember my first phone was one of the classic Nokias with the antenna poking out the top.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day. And then I had the iconic 3320. What was it, 3300 or whatever?
Well, it was the 3300, the 3310.
I think it was the 3310 I had. Yeah, that kind of iconic Nokia shape. That was lovely. But the first tech that I actively wanted and craved and went and got was like my first... Oh, it was the first phone with a colour screen and a camera. Oh, it's so lovely.
Oh, what was that?
That was the Sony Ericsson W810i.
Oh.
It was one of their Walkman phones. Because it was a W series.
Was that the... Was that the... No, it wasn't the orange one, was it? That was a different one.
It was black and orange.
Yeah, I think I remember it. And that was when they had the weird little, like, bubbly symbol. Yeah.
Yeah. And they insisted on their ridiculous headphone dock thing. But it was actually... I kind of liked it as an accessory, like dock, because they released speakers that could be plugged into it, and you could use your Walkman phone as a Walkman with tinny, terrible speakers attached.
See, I remember getting my first MP3 player, and I actively always refused to get an iPod because
Good work.
I just saw it as, well, you pay far too much for what it is and what it does.
Yeah.
So I got a Sony MP3 player, and it was... it obviously wasn't touchscreen or anything, but it did the job really well. And then I just moved on to having my phone as my MP3 player. And I can proudly say that I've never bought an iPod that I've, used. However, I did always say, no, I will never buy an Apple product. They're not for me. I do not like them.
Yeah.
No.
And then?
Then I wanted a tablet. And then it was like, well, I've looked around and I've played around with things, and iPads are the best at doing this.
Yeah.
And so I have had 2 iPads, both iPad minis, and yeah, damn it, Apple, you're too damn good at making tablets, is all I'll say.
They're very good products. Yeah.
I still wouldn't get an iPod. Unless it was maybe for if I ever took up any kind of gym type thing again. But, heaven forfend the idea.
Who needs such exuberance in their life?
I have a dog to walk. I have push-ups I can do. I'm sure there are some calisthenic exercises on the YouTube.
If you feel the burning need to do so, yeah.
I would probably say that my best phone, in terms of one that I used for longest, was I can't remember sort of the model of it, but it was a Samsung, and it was a slider phone.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And because it had the micro SD capacity, so you could have it be your music player. It had earphones with it that weren't the stupid little buds, because I hate the little buds. It had responsive buttons, did everything you needed to do, it was easy to navigate, and it was just, And then after that one, I moved on to a BlackBerry 9300 or 9320.
Yeah, I remember your BlackBerry.
To be fair, I never had an issue with that BlackBerry. I always found it amazingly easy to type on a BlackBerry. However, very poorly designed, because obviously between the 2 plastics of the front and the back was just a ring of rubber.
Yeah.
Not a good design choice there.
But it makes it super grippy.
It did make it super grippy. Also made it super fall aparty when the volume buttons fell off.
Like started to peel off.
Yeah, from overuse as my music player. But yeah, I went from my phone purchasing. So I had the Sagem, whatever. Then I got do you remember the Motorola clamshell that was bright blue?
Yes, I do.
And had the buttons were long button, small button, long button, small button, long button. And it was like that. And I didn't really get along with that. So I then bought the next model up from that, which was kind of a black clamshell and just had the normal button layouts. And I had that for quite a while. Then I got the Samsung slider phone. And I had that. And man, I got that in university when I was in my halls of residence. That was about 2006 or 7. And I didn't get my BlackBerry until 2012. So I had that phone.
You had that a good long time.
Yeah, that's
well done.
Testament to that phone, how long I had it. It is long. I think I had to throw it in the bin. I tried to sell it, but it just wasn't. It was not responsive. So it had to be sent to Phone Valhalla.
Phone Valhalla.
So then I got the BlackBerry. Then after the BlackBerry, I got the S4 Mini, which was okay. Did its job. After the S4 Mini, that's when I got the A5. And
you had a couple of those, didn't you?
No,
different generations of them.
No, it was just the one A5, because the A5 that I got was one with the metal surround, and the year after that they made it entirely plastic, and I did not want that at all. And now I'm on the Huawei Chinese Life Invader P20 Lite.
Yes, your every interaction is monitored by the Chinese government. Apparently, according to rumors.
Yeah. Well, good on them if they want to monitor what I do. I
mean, at least someone's listening.
Sir, he's tweeting about his podcast again. Well, maybe it's a coded message. It's not a coded message, sir.
It's not a coded message.
He's just talking about touching himself again. Oh,
oh yeah, I'm in the Chinese government pocket as well with the old Huawei. I'm very, very happy with it.
They're very good phones, unfortunately. I mean,
I don't think it's unfortunate. I think they are very good phones. And again, if they want, what data are they going to have about me?
Yeah.
My usage information, I mean, great.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. He spends far too long every day watching the YouTube. Okay, good. Thanks for that.
Good. What was your sort of phone history then? Do you remember the phones that you've been through? No.
I have many, many phones. I really like phone technology in general. So when I got my job at the second-hand electronics retailer, I took full advantage of the benefits of working there. For a little while, I'd have a different phone every 6 months. And at one point, I took even greater advantage and had a new one every 2 weeks for maybe a 3-month period, just so I could try different phones, just to see what was there.
Is that where your love of because you really like the Sony phones, so is that where the love of Sony phones started, or was it with the Walkman phones?
The Walkman phone was before that, and I had that one. I'd always liked them, just as the design kind of things. I liked the way they looked, even back to their really early dumb phones, like the T28 and things like that. I still think they look fantastic. But then, I tried a lot of different Sonys and Samsungs and LGs and all manner of crazy shit. But primarily, I'd go back to getting a Sony because I really liked it. I had the Z series for a while. Yeah. The one before that was the Arc, the Xperia Arc, which had a slightly curved back.
Did you ever borrow the one which had the sort of PSP integration? That was, you could slide it up and it had the sort of controls on.
The Xperia Play. No, because I thought it was dumb.
You see, that's the one Sony phone that I thought, actually, I'd quite like to just see what that's about.
It was hilarious because they released that at the same time as the PSP Go, and I was like, well, that seems silly. Why have you released the same device twice? That's just weird.
Well, you can only make a phone call on one of them, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Did you ever have or want an N-Gage?
No, but I did want somebody at work when that was in fact, it was towards the end of the N-Gage's life that he just really wanted one, so he bought one. I think purely so he could play Sonic on his phone. I was like, but that screen is tiny.
Yeah, I like the idea, but then when I saw it, because I knew someone who had one, and when I saw them taking a call, and you had to do it on its side.
Yeah, held it sideways.
Yeah, I was like, no. No. Not for me. No.
That's not a good experience.
You look a fool. Good day, sir.
Good day.
Speaking of looking foolish, segues are on point today. Segues.
Oh, totally on point.
On point.
So smooth.
I saw a delightful mimetic picture on the onlines around why a particular movie, in this case Home Alone, wouldn't work in the modern world. Because, obviously it's a movie that is set, when it was recorded, it was set at that time, in that particular moment. Yep. And so if it was set now, so for Home Alone, Kevin's got a phone. Meh. He texts his mother, everything is solved. The solution is there. There is no movie.
He takes an Uber. He meets them at the airport.
Yeah. So I tried to think of other movies around the same premise.
I feel like a lot of older movies have that same flaw. Yeah. Where, why don't you just call them?
Yeah. But obviously, sort of, in this case, it's not like, Seven Samurai or anything. Where, just get a gun.
Yeah.
If the Seven Samurai was set now, get a gun.
Well, they did remake it with guns, though.
They did, and they were Magnificent Seven, yeah.
Yeah.
And it had Yul Brynner and his famous bald noggin, for which he would allow hookers to snort cocaine off. That might not be true, I don't know.
I have a feeling that has definitely happened at least once.
Yul Brynner, I'm fairly certain, was not a good man. Now, what's going to be weird about this is I'm pretty sure the first 3 examples I thought of were also John Hughes films. For some reason, the very first one I thought of was Weird Science. Because you've seen Weird Science?
I have not seen Weird Science, but I'm aware of the premise.
Yeah, so obviously the premise is that these 2 computer nerds create a computer program. They create a woman, create her out of matter. Whereas now, obviously what they would do is just buy a 3D print a woman, and just pump their little teenage seed into it all the live long day, and shove a fleshlight in there if they really needed to.
I was going to say, fleshlights? Real doll? What do you mean they'd have to do it? It's already been done for them.
Assuming they wanted to go through the rigmarole of creating their perfect woman.
I see. Assuming they wanted to do it themselves, as it were, or have her do it for them.
Exactly, and then no party, no nothing, and there is no. It's just them 2 just pumping away in various orifices.
Orify.
Orify.
You.
Orify, orifum.
Oriphobus.
And then that made me think of the next one as being The Breakfast Club.
Right.
Again, a John Hughes film.
Again.
Yeah. Weird how my mind kind of linked. But that just wouldn't work, because even if they were all put in detention, chances are one of them just going to have a gun and it's just going to end in a mass shooting. So
someone took a knife to school that day. Oh, that took a dark turn.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's maybe, the morning club, the funeral club. That's what the prophet called.
Morning. It's spelled with it. Yeah, okay. I see. Most droll.
Yeah. Then Ferris Bueller, that's a John Hughes film, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Ferris Bueller would just not be able to avoid school because he'd be being tracked by CCTV, most likely his Alexa device that would inevitably have in the house.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And he'd have Find My iPhone on in his pocket that the police would be able to use to track his every movement. So he'd be easily obtained within 15 minutes of the film beginning.
So it'd be Ferris Bueller's Day in Juvie.
Yeah. I then got off the John Hughes kick.
Right.
But I stuck with the 80s theme, and Back to the Future came to mind.
Oh, this would be good. Yeah, go on. Now,
Back to the Future just wouldn't work because from the offset of the film, Doc Brown would already be on some kind of register because of the undue amount of time he spends with teenage boys. There would be an exclusion zone that Marty cannot come into. Thank you.
It's a funny thing.
Thank you. And the last one I thought of was Dumb and Dumber. The reason Dumb and Dumber wouldn't work right now is both Harry and Lloyd would just be in Trump's cabinet.
Oh, political.
Oh, we brought the satire back. Wow.
Ooh.
Dope. Dope.
Do.
Speaking of Ferris Bueller. Bow. Do.
On the 80s movie kind of thing, I like films which are based around technology because they always age so well.
Yes.
Like, for instance, War Games.
Yeah.
About a child hacker prodigy hacking into a military computer. And now, okay, maybe you could remake it with modern technology, but you just wouldn't have the same feel of, like, the reel-to-reel computer decks. What I really like about that film as well is that they have to go and find the original programmer of this computer, and it's one dude. Okay. That's not how that works nowadays.
One man, and the program was all on microfiche, and
yeah. They needed to look up some obscure facts. They had to go to the library. I'm like, dude, internet. The internet is right there. Just Wikipedia the guy. Just like find out his life stories. We're all online.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, it's like when in sort of the few later seasons of Buffy, they start using Google, and you look at it and you go, oh man, look at how that looks. Dear. Oh, yeah. No.
Is that Netscape Explorer? Ugh. How did we ever? Ugh.
Oh my god. Good lord. Is there any other films that come to mind?
The whole technology aging badly in films thing is funny when it comes to a film series as well. Like how things change over a series. So you look at things like the original Alien, where the pinnacle of futuristic technology at the time they were making it was CRT monitors everywhere. And now you look at the same continuation in the same universe, and the technology is just holograms and glass walls of information. You're like, I see. It makes me wonder about what in the future we will look back on now as being quaint. Oh, you remember the Minority Report where you've got that holographic interactive thing, and we thought that was so cool at the time. Now look at it. What Neanderthals they were to use such primitive technology.
How quaint, a touchscreen phone. Oh.
Yeah. How quaint, a physical phone.
Oh. It doesn't even fold.
What?
Yeah, that's not working out well for Samsung.
No, not so much.
Turns out, if you forget that people have lots and lots of dust in their pockets, you might not design a phone that will, just have a horrible massive crease at the top that will collect it forever.
Turns out that if you can design a technological marvel, but as soon as it has to be an actual device that actual people have to actually use, it's gonna break. Go figure.
I was also thinking about Iron Man, the first one, when you look back at that.
Oh, yeah.
And
his phone in that is so cool.
Yeah, but then you also sort of think of the bit, where he introduces the Jericho, and it's just, even the nature of warfare now is just totally changed. Like, that wouldn't be a thing. The Jericho would be drones. It wouldn't be things dropped from the sky or under the ground. It would just be a wave of drones would be the way that they destroy all the little brown people. That
was Age of Ultron, wasn't it? Autonomous killing machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave you to do your homework and come back next time with more films.
Oh, okay, sure.
We hope you have enjoyed what will hopefully be 2 podcasts.
It will definitely be at least 2 podcasts.
We're only just over an hour, and there's a nice little chunk that you're going to get rid of.
Yeah,
so.
there's a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
But, yeah, well, thank you for bearing with us while we maintain a rigorous schedule of recording.
Prepare yourselves for the many, many classic ones that will come in between.
More classic Neanderthals coming in between.
Coming in between your ears. Classic Neanderthals. Da 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 da
Da, 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 da,
da. Bye.
Cease.